This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, and Daoulas Brothers Construction.
Good morning. Welcome to the final episode of June News, as summer is now in full swing. We have a full week of coverage for you, with headlines focused on city development, while events are more geared towards community celebrations. Let's jump right in with the news for Friday, June 28th, 2024. The city is welcoming a new face to their staff in Erica Holm, the first ever Urban Forestry Fellow. Holmes will be responsible for the management, care, and preservation of trees in the city of Lynn. According to Holmes, having a healthy tree canopy is vital to mitigating flooding during storms and helping to store and reduce carbon dioxide. She plans to plant at least 150 more trees with this grant, referring to the 330-300 rule, meaning that all residents should be able to see at least 3 trees from their home, there should be at least a 30% canopy cover in all neighborhoods, and everyone should be within 300 meters of urban green space. Additionally, youth will be given opportunities to learn from Holmes through workforce development for those interested in pursuing urban forestry. Funded by a $550,000 3-year grant through the Arbor Day Foundation, this is a full-time position. Other aspects being funded are a community engagement plan, exposing more youth to green infrastructure jobs, designing and implementing a new urban forestry plan, and green infrastructure project. Since 2021, Juneteenth has been a nationally recognized holiday, but Lynn has been holding a celebration for the past 8 years. Despite the weather not cooperating, the Lynn Museum was full of vendors, free food, resource tables, and performers, striking a balance between celebrating the Juneteenth holiday while also acknowledging ongoing struggles for equity.
Today we are celebrating the Juneteenth holiday at our Juneteenth celebration. This is our 8th year doing this celebration, where we celebrate and commemorate the freedom of Black Americans and also highlight their achievement and culture. We have vendors who are, selling their wares and doing some face painting for us. We have performances of dance, song, and poetry.
Can those in power spare enough change for those of us that are doing the work? For those of us that dare to care, most times giving far past what we genuinely spare, only to never feel like one is never enough. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough energy in my spirit, not enough strength in my soul to bear it. So today, I must share it. Because at the end of each journey, at the moonrise of each day, no one should feel overwhelmed, underserved, empty-handed, or ashamed.
We have some crafts here today. We have some delicious food. As you can see, I'm here in line waiting for a tray myself. Some incredible vendors, folks involved in social justice work, not only in Lynn, but across the North Shore.
We are very excited to be here at the Lynn Museum again, and we want to thank Danica Thurston and the Lynn Museum for allowing us to host the event here again this year in collaboration.
So excited that we have so many folks from the community here today. Rain or shine, you can't stop us from having a good time and celebrating this incredible holiday and freedom for all.
Hey folks, happy Juneteenth. This is Tim Potter. I am here with a great crowd at the Juneteenth event at the Lynn Museum. fantastic performances, great folks, and I'm telling you, you need to come so you can learn your true history right here at Juneteenth.
Hey everyone, I'm Arthur Big Breedy. I am a Lynn resident and I am here at the Juneteenth celebration at the Lynn Museum. I grew up in Lynn and I'm real excited to be here because I didn't have something like this to go to back when I was growing up. And so I'm real excited to be here today. It was a great turnout. I'm really proud of the North Shore Juneteenth Association. Hope to see you next year.
A development containing 40 single-occupancy affordable housing units, coined La Casa Project, has received just over $6.9 million in funding from the Healy-Driscoll administration. It will come in three forms: $950,000 in federal low-income housing tax credits, $500,000 in state low-income housing tax credits, and the remaining $5.5 million as state subsidy. Combining this with local funds and a bank loan, the $18 million project is now fully funded. According to the Massachusetts Coalition for the Homeless, construction is expected to be completed in early 2026, opening to residents the next year, 2027. The building itself will be 5 stories, located on Oxford Street, in close proximity to public transit, employment opportunities, shopping, and healthcare centers. The target population for this building will be those with a history of homelessness, extremely low income, and disabilities. This project is part of a larger $227 million affordable care initiative to create and preserve 2,000 affordable housing units in Massachusetts. Following in the theme of celebration this week was full of Pride events, beginning with the illumination of High Rock Tower the night of the 24th. Hosted by United Lynn Pride, residents got a perfect night, enjoying free music and giveaways before the main event lit up the sky. High Rock Tower showed off its colors, kicking off a full week of Pride events in style. On the night of the 24th, members of the community gathered to watch United Lynn Pride and city councilors light up the tower, with help from some very special guests. Even before the lighting, people were lounging on the lawn, with swag from flags, to fans, to rainbow ducks. The City of Lynn has been celebrating Pride Month on a consistent basis since their first Pride flag raising in 2010, and it continues to grow each year with new events.
Hello everyone, happy Pride. I'm so glad that people came out despite some of the sprinkling rain and all of that to come enjoy some good music, to light up the tower. It's really a great honor for me to continue to build upon the work that past people of the community have done here in the City of Lynn and to bring more events going forward into the future. And yeah, I'm ready to light it up. I don't have too much more to say. Tomorrow I'll have a big speech.
High Rock Tower boasts a vantage point stretching from Lynn to Boston and is the perfect place to celebrate the LGBTQ+ population in the city. Once illuminated, the tower rotated through the colors of the rainbow, most prominently on the sides facing the street and outlook, so that anyone looking in that direction could see the brilliant beacon.
3, 2, 1.
From LCTV News, I'm Dani Vittori. Next up was the annual Pride flag raising on the steps of City Hall. An annual tradition for the past 14 years, the ever-evolving flag stands as a symbol of equality and acceptance for everyone of all genders and sexual orientations. Highlighted by performances from a drag queen and local dance troupe, it was an impactful show of unity in the community.
Lynn, our vibrant and diverse community, has always embodied resilience and strength. As members of this community, it is our responsibility to ensure that Lynn remains a safe and supportive space for every individual, irrespective of their backgrounds or identities. We must actively work towards an environment where everyone feels embraced, celebrated, empowered to live authentically.
And we're fortunate that we've had the LGBTQ plus community in Lynn doing that work on our behalf for decades. And it really is on behalf of the whole city, because allowing everyone to live their truth and love who they want to love makes all of us better off and helps us achieve that goal of not just saying that everyone is welcome, but really allowing everyone to feel welcome.
Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Pat Gazemba in recognition of documenting Lynn's vibrant LGBTQ plus history via Through a Rainbow Lens. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success.
Yeah!
As we proudly raise the Lynn Pride flag today, let it serve as a beacon of hope, love and acceptance for all. Let it remind us of the progress we have made and the work that still lies ahead. Let us continue to build a community where representation thrives, where every story is honored, and where every contribution is celebrated.
The City of Lynn and Lynn Creative Cities have announced 15 recipients of the Lynnspire 2024 Creative Placemaking Grant Program. Recipients shared in a $60,000 grant, with awards ranging from $1,000 to $10,000. There were 7 $1,000 grants, 1 $3,000 grant, 4 $5,000 grants, and 3 $10,000 grants. The Lynnspire grant program was open to all, favoring Lynn-based creatives with the goal of supporting community-driven creative projects that engage with residents. All applicants were judged using a standard rubric, with the top scorers receiving awards. One requirement is that winners must produce and manage their events or activities by the end of 2024. A vast array of projects received grants, from one-day events to larger creative programs. Visit lyntv.org for a full list of recipients and their respective projects. In their second meeting, their Charter Review Committee was focused on mayoral power, specifically the creation of a document that clearly states the responsibilities of the council, the mayor, and how people in city government can be appointed. The charter currently being used was approved by citizens in 1978, so another objective of the committee is making the document more conducive to 21st century situations. Another significant point was the lack of instruction for the transition of power between a sitting mayor and mayor-elect. As stated by Councilor-at-Large and committee member Nicole McLean, if the CFO were to leave at the same time as the previous mayor, then the current mayor would be left with little guidance in their new position. They wrapped up the meeting by discussing the possibility of decreasing the time between a city councilor leaving their position and being hired to work for the city. Right now, the waiting period is 2 years, but it could be reduced to 1. Earlier on the 25th, Lynn reached a significant milestone in the official groundbreaking for Lynn Harbor Park. Part of the larger South Harbor Implementation Plan, crews have been working since 2016 to clear and level the former landfill, making way for an 8-acre park. Marking the end of their first planting season, speakers included members of the state delegation, the Healy-Driscoll administration, and local leaders. Here is a clip.
So Lynn has been working really hard, and with assistance from the Commonwealth, which are, I would say some of the best investments that we've made in terms of planning and thinking about how to transform the waterfront from a vacant, underutilized space into a vibrant, active mixed-use district with improved access to the shore, places for people to be outside, a waterfront promenade. And so there's a lot more work that remains to bring all those plans to fruition. But I want to just compliment and say that we're with you, and we're going to continue to kind of make progress along in implementation, bringing this park to life and bringing the rest of this vision to life, because it's well worth everybody's time resources and imagination.
What this South Harbor can be will power our city for generations in the development potential that it has. Thousands of units of sorely needed housing, millions of square footage of commercial space and industrial space for sorely needed jobs. And for it all to be meaningful, it has to include the residents of our community. And that is the work we have before us, and I can think of no better way to start that than a public park, one of the most inclusive spaces that you can imagine, where people will be welcome, where people can enjoy for all the amenities that we have there, above all, this incredible view of the Atlantic Ocean. And as Pythagoras says in the last book of Metamorphoses, just as every wave is driven forward by another, so the times flee, and at the same time, they follow. And every moment's occasion is a renewal.
To watch the full press conference, head to lyntv.org. Lynn Public Schools are once again offering free meals to all youth age 18 and under. Locations will have either breakfast or lunch options, and no pre-registration or identification is required. The program launched on June 24th, with the end date varying from August 1st to the 30th, depending on the location. This year there are 14 sites, as well as 8 parks where youth can go to pick up a meal. All sites will be closed on July 4th, with the school locations also closed on the 5th. For a full list of locations, including times they're open, go to our website, lyntv.org. Participants at Cook Street Park got a twofer as the mayor cut the ribbon on both the revitalized park and Capital Waste, who will be taking over trash and recycling services for the city beginning next month. Both the former and current Ward 2 councilors were in attendance to reflect on the progress being made.
When I became the councilor, this was always one of my favorite parks. When you look around and you see the stonework that goes back to the WPA projects, it's just a great park up here. So working with Beyond Walls, they were able to connect us with a grant through the Kaboom organization. And with over 100 volunteers from CarMax, we got all this equipment for free from the Kaboom grant, and all volunteers that did the install.
One of the things that we have been doing is focusing on maintaining it, bringing more traffic, bringing more eyes onto the park. There's a lot of kids who use it. We have Ling English High School down the street, we have Ford up the street, we have Ingalls, and then we have Hood. So we have a lot of students, and even Kip Academy up the street.
And one of the other things I wanted to do that Lisa was a great help with was replacing the courts. And through DPW, we were able to have it all dug out and a new futsal court, multi-purpose court, and a new basketball court put in for the kids up here.
One of the things that I have been doing is working with the Highlands Coalition and the United Nations CDC up in the gardens area up top, and there's also a garden area at the bottom. And we're making sure that all these families that depend from these gardens are taken care of. We need to make sure that these families can harvest can cultivate their own vegetables here. We're going to have so many people that are going to benefit from this. So again, thank you for everything, and I'm really looking forward to what's coming next.
3, 2, 1.
This was immediately followed by a ribbon cutting for Capital Waste Services, who will now be responsible for the residential trash and recycling collection beginning on July 1st.
3, 2, 1.
For LCTV News, I'm Dani Vittori. At the line, the sports update. With the end of another high school season comes the beginning of the Harry Aganis All-Star Games. Named after the Lynn baseball player who was a star for Classical, BU, and the Red Sox, the Aganis Foundation has awarded more than $2.5 million in scholarships over 70 years. The South defeated the North in softball 14-4 over the weekend. Led by St. Mary's coach Colleen Newberry, the South had 11 hits in the last 3 innings alone for the win. 3 Lynners made an impact. Ariana LeBoy sat down the final 6 North batters in 2 innings, as the Spartan pair of Gabriela Marichal and Laureen Soriel combined for 4 hits and 2 runs. In baseball, it was the North claiming victory 3-0. Despite losing, Bulldog Kenry Mananzio claimed the title of South MVP for his stellar performance at shortstop. Football saw both teams coached by Lynners. The North had Jim Rabbit of Kip, while the South was helmed by Brian Vaughn Sr. In the end, it was the South capturing a 27-16 victory. The North did get within a score, 13-8 in the third, but that's as close as they would come. Rams' Brian Vaughn Jr. and John Naskey had the final score of the game on a 79-yard connection. Vaughn Jr. threw for more than 200 yards, and Naskey collected 8 catches for 162 yards and the South MVP nod. In basketball, despite hitting 17 threes, the North boys fell to the South 100-94. It was 85-84 North with just over 5 minutes remaining, but that's when the South turned on the Jets for the win. Edric Gonzalez, who was a force for Tech all year, contributed 16 points to the effort. The South girls were also the victors, 69-55, led by 5 Bishop Fenwick players, who spent a period of the second half on the court together, while St. Mary's AJ Hyacinth was the high scorer for the North with 15. Summer is back, and with it, the North Shore Navigators. Playing at the always recognizable Fraser Field, they sit in 4th place in the Coastal Division of the NECBL at 6-8, having lost 2 games, 12-0 to the Vermont Mountaineers and 16-0 to the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. While the Sox went 2 for 3 in another series, this time on the road against the Cincinnati Reds. A unique part of this team is they actually have some speed and are leading the league in stolen bases with 78. Not a trait typically associated with Boston baseball. Jaron Duran stole the show on the 22nd. Not only did he score the game-winning run, diving into home off a fly ball into left, but he also stole a home run from Stuart Fairchild, who hit a rocket that was headed over the center field fence. Keeping up the momentum, they won the finale 7-4 before walking it off again against division rival Toronto Blue Jays 7-6. A 2-1 game through 6, the wheels came off when the Blue Jays scored 5 in the 7th. But the Sox followed this with a 4-run 8th, and it was once again Duran walking it off with an RBI single to score Cedon Rafaela in the 9th. Federal opioid treatment program rules were updated for the first time in 20 years. Several members from Spectrum Health, as well as a patient, came on the lowdown to discuss these impacts on treatment. Including personal stories, this is a must-watch for anyone who has been or knows someone affected by addiction. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we have on 3 representatives from Spectrum Health Services. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Great, so first question is, could you mind just introducing yourselves and your relation to the program, please?
Sure, thanks Dani for having us. My name is Athena Haddon. I am the Executive Director of Peer Services and Recovery Supports for Spectrum Health Systems. I oversee the newest, one of our newest programs, the Lynn Peer Recovery Center, the Recovery Exchange at 35 Exchange Street here in Lynn.
Great. Hi, I'm Jackie Hyde, and I am a patient at the Saugus Clinic, Spectrum.
And hi, I'm Christina Rossi. I'm the Regional Executive Director at Spectrum Health Systems. I oversee 5 of our outpatient sites, Haverhill, Saugus, Waltham, Weymouth, and Framingham.
Great. So one of the first things we're going to talk about today is the MOUD Treatment Act. And I know, Christina, you said you could speak a little bit on that. And how will that affect individuals getting treatment?
Yeah, so this was a great change for us. This really positively impacted our patients by expanding access to take-home medication for addiction. We know that medication is the frontline treatment for addiction treatment. So this expands access and allows patients to have more access to take-home medication, allows more flexibility to take home medication. So this has been a really positive change for us. Patients, have really shown that they do really well with the flexibility of having expanded access to the medication. So it's really making our patients' lives easier and allowing people to remain actively engaged in treatment, in medication-assisted treatment specifically. So we're really excited about this change, and we've seen some great benefits already. And this change really happened as part of the pandemic, and we really expanded take-home flexibilities during the pandemic. And that really showed us that patients are more than capable of taking their medication safely and responsibly. And it really showed us really how much benefit it has to our patients to have that expanded access. So we're super excited about it, and so far it's really off to a great start.
One of those silver linings, and I saw, Jackie, you were nodding really a lot when she said that. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I used to have like 12 or 13, and I thought that was wonderful, but the 27 is just great because I take care of my mom and my daughter's special needs, and it's hard to just leave and go at any time. I never know what's going to happen, so it's wonderful having all those take-homes. It is wonderful. I love it.
And that's a great point, Jackie. And, prior to this, our patients had to come into the program 7 days a week.
Wow.
So that's a lot, being somewhere 7 days a week, especially if you have children or parents or family members to take care of work. So this just allows that flexibility. I know I couldn't get somewhere 7 days a week, so that's a real challenge. So now patients can have anywhere from 1 up to 27 take-homes. So wow. Yeah, it's really helpful.
It's great. That's a great benefit for it. And Athena, you're on the side of recovery exchange, so people who are in recovery and interacting with each other. Have you seen this change affect them at all or help them?
Sure. I think anything that is easier access for our populations that we serve is going to benefit folks in their recovery. So I'm very happy to see it as well. The relaxed guidelines. The guidelines the way they were. We used to hear a lot of people come in, and for little things, they may have either been kicked off the clinic or they weren't allowed take homes, and it really impacted their day to day. I heard Christina say she couldn't do something 7 days. So often we had our patients doing things that I couldn't even do, be somewhere every single day at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. So to have the flexibility now, people can go on with their lives.
Mm-hmm. And I'll ask a little bit, how does, talking about take home medication, how exactly does that work? Like what is the process like?
Yeah, so patients the program and they start by taking their medication in person. And once we can see that patients are able to take their medication in person responsibly and safely, and they're able to provide some screens that are negative for opiates, then we're able to provide them the take-home medication if it's something that they want. We're really focused on individualized care. So if it's something that they want and they feel like could benefit them, we'll support them in getting that medication. So they have to present to the program, a nurse administers it to them. They have a locked box where they can keep it safe and secure, and they take that home with them. And it's a big responsibility. They have to do bottle checks and sometimes get callbacks and things like that. And as part of being in the program, they meet with a clinician. A lot of times they go to groups. So there's a clinical requirement too. So, it's not easy, but these guidelines have made it a lot easier. And again, we're just really wanting to do kind of what's best for the patient.
And Jackie, you've been in recovery now for many years, which is incredible. How has the experience been for you working with Spectrum and working within these various programs?
It's been great. They're very supportive. Like, no matter what I need help with, they're there for me. And if they can't do it, they will find someone that will be able to help me.
And you were even mentioning before, they'll offer classes or treatments beyond the addiction.
Yeah, stress,
groups, other things.
Groups for stress, quitting smoking, anger management, and like all different types of things.
Which is great because it's all connected, right?
Sure. Yeah, and then sure, at the Recovery Exchange, we have a full calendar. I brought a calendar, and it's on our Facebook page, but we have a full calendar of things that go on. There's gender-specific groups. There's all kinds of supports for people as they begin their recovery journey.
And why is it so important to have that piece in addition to the medication, but also having the social?
Having recovery supports is very important. I mean, together we can, alone we can't, right? And so that's kind of that's how we think about folks in recovery. The recovery supports, having those peer relationships, very important. There's going to be a time that the clinic's going to be closed, or the therapist isn't going to be available. We just had a long holiday weekend. You know, those are the times that these peer recovery supports are really important. And the recovery centers around the state often have things going on those long holidays, on those after-hour places where the peer supports are in place. We have now 40 peer recovery centers statewide for the Massachusetts. Spectrum hosts 5 of those centers. We're fortunate to have the one here in Lynn. But they're very important. They're as valuable as senior centers, they're as valuable as youth centers and communities. So we're seeing that grow because we know the benefit.
Definitely, and I remember I went to the opening of Exchange, and it looks like you have such a supportive network there. And I'll ask, how do you think that the evolving rules and really the focus to addiction can benefit those in it, trying to reduce the stigma towards them? And then you can answer.
Yeah, I would just say that, you know, any other medication, you don't have to show up somewhere and take it 7 days a week. So we really want addiction treatment to be that same way. You know, we don't want the stigma associated and to have people, you know, have to show up, you know, 7 days a week. So we really want this treated like any other medical condition. So I think that in itself helps to reduce the stigma. So we're really excited about that piece of it, because we know that stigma is a huge barrier for getting help and getting the treatment people need.
And one thing I actually underlined is you said education is the foundation of all of these programs. What specifically does that mean? Educating patients, general population, everyone?
Yeah, certainly educating people about addiction. When you go into a doctor to see about any other illness, they're going to educate you about your illness, if it's cancer or high blood pressure. So educating folks about addiction, what triggers look like, you know, things like that to help them and support them. And then we also educate in the community. That's what we do a lot of at the recovery centers, right? Yeah.
Again, Jackie, I'll ask for the patient perspective on that. You know, much work has been done, but looking forward, what do you hope continues to happen with your experiences?
I hope to maybe be off the methadone eventually. But I mean, I love going to clinic and seeing them. They're very good supportive. If it wasn't for Cassandra, I probably would have went to half my appointments. So they're very good support.
I can definitely tell the way that the passion about it and the way that you all care about it. And I have to ask, I will be wrapping up in a moment, but is there anything else that I hadn't mentioned that any of you wanted to mention about medication, peer support, anything like that?
I just would like to say, if anybody hasn't walked into 35 Exchange Street, please do, and really just see what happens. And I think we're in a place where everybody's been affected by addiction, right? We all know somebody. If we don't, you know, in our families or in our friends, everybody knows somebody. So I think I'd love to invite everybody to come and visit us at 35 Exchange Street.
Great, awesome.
And along the same lines, you know, if anyone has questions about medication-assisted treatment, or they're wondering if it's the right fit for them or their family member, you know, I would encourage them to give us a call, reach out to us. We're always happy to have a conversation to see if it's the right fit for you. We have a bunch of friendly staff, as you mentioned, Jackie, so we're happy to talk to you about it. And we have a lot of friendly patients, too, that are happy to welcome new patients to the program.
Well, it all sounds like such an amazing support system, and I want to thank all of you for coming on to really help raise some of that awareness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you anytime. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. Up next, the community calendar. Tomorrow, June 29th, the Lynn Family Forward Resource Center, We Rise, and all of Center Board are holding their annual Family Fun Fest. Attendees can meet the team, explore the center, and learn more about the services they offer. The best part, there will also be free ice cream sundaes for everyone. Friends of Lynn and Nahant Beach are running their 25th year of the Red Rock Park Summer Entertainment Series. They are again kicking off the season with the July 3rd concert by the Dirty Floorboards from 7 to 9 p.m., followed by the Lynn fireworks display. All remaining concerts will be on Thursday nights from July 8th to August 15th, 6 to 8 p.m. They are free and open to the public, taking place at Red Rock Park overlooking the ocean. On the 4th of July, join Diverse People United in their Liberation for All, signifying the pursuit of independence, freedom, and liberation for marginalized people. This is an expansion of their Occupy Wyoma Square protest, beginning at noon. First, there will be speakers at Manning Field, followed by the occupation of Wyoma Square at 1 p.m. and a community gathering at 2 p.m. This year, the focus is community healing from both local and international violence. With that, we have reached the end of another episode of the LCTV News. Stay up to date on all the holiday happenings by following us on social media at Lynn Community Television. And visit our website, lyntv.org, for news, videos on demand, and a complete list of events. For member and staff content, go to Lynn Community Television on YouTube. Have a happy 4th of July. I'm Dani Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., Brotherhood Credit Union, and Daoulas Brothers Construction.